Hi players, bonjour from Paris, my name is Asaf Hirsch and welcome to my channel Easy Board Games. Today we're going to have a few things. Let's start first of all with the free giveaway. So, as you know, we have passed the 500 subscribers milestone, and that is, to be honest with you guys, amazing news for me, for us actually, for our community, which makes me very excited. And as promised, a sweet free giveaway for you. So I'm going to give you Endless Winter, the all-in gameplay. That means the big box with all the expansions inside, with free delivery anywhere you are in the world. What do you need to do? So, first of all, comment either on the last video that I had, which was a Kickstarter for a game that is called Deckhand, or comment on this video, whichever is more comfortable for you. If you want to comment on both, your chances will just be higher. I'm going to put your name twice. And that means that at the end of the month, I'm just going to pull one name from the hat, and the lucky person will receive Endless Winter. And just to make sure that you understand, guys, it's such a good feeling that you're subscribing to the channel, and it gives me a lot of confidence that you're putting confidence in me, in my content and everything. So really, it's warming my heart. There's no words, really, just thank you. So that's about that. Now let's move on for a little bit updates before we're going to talk about the new games that are coming into my collection and some other games that are going to leave. So about the last month, I think that I have promised that I'll try to learn the rules for Europa Universalis and also for Successor's 4th edition. And guys, I have to be honest with you, I failed miserably, okay? I even did a video about the rule books and difficulty and whatever, so feel free to check it out. But Europa Universalis was just like, it was just too much for me. I failed, okay? So I am going to try and tackle this challenge a little bit further down the road. I don't like it, but for now, it's the best that I can do. Also, what are we expecting for this month until the next one? So first of all, today, which is what I have on the table right now, I'm going to start the video for a playthrough for 2 players of Septima, the full game. So not only the basic, we're going to add the ritual board also, and hopefully further down the line, I'm going to add also the expansion that came with the deluxe box. And also in this opportunity, I would like to ask you, and feel free to tell me what do you think. Do you prefer when you're learning a game to see actually a playthrough? That means really just to see how the game goes, or you prefer like a how to play video with a few examples that includes the setup and everything? Let me know what you're looking for in this channel so I can adapt myself a little bit better for you guys. Also, I'm expecting to receive a little bit more of Kickstarter games, so I would love to do some videos for you guys so you will be able to understand a little bit better if you would like to back those Kickstarters or not when they're coming up. And there are a few more games on my shelf that I would love actually to crack open and see what's going on there, games that I haven't touched yet. So I'm going to put a full list of my collection, which is less than 100 games, so we're good, in this video in the description. So feel free if you see something that you would like to see a little bit more, if it's a playthrough, if it's a how to play, if it's just a simple review, and I will tell you what I thought about the game. Feel free to just answer in the comment, and I would love to create more content for you guys. So now let's move on to the next part of the video, and that is on my way to build my perfect collection and having 100 games, no more, no less. Let's talk about the first 3 games that are leaving my collection. I think that one of them will shock you a little bit, but you'll have to give me a chance to explain to you guys. So the first game, as you can see over here, is Successor's 4th edition. That, to be honest with you guys, from the beginning, I saw the rulebook and I'm like, wow, something here just feels very off. So in my opinion, when you have a rulebook and it says like the best way to learn this game is having someone to teach you this game, and I'm like, come on guys, you're just throwing responsibility over here. So after a few tries of like learning this game, setting it up, understanding what goes where, I just like, I don't know, this game at some point just stopped being interesting for me. It is true that with this game you have a full manual of like a full game being presented, but sometimes, which is by the way better than other games with just terrible rulebooks, but I'm guessing that sometimes it's just not enough, because I need to understand not only from the game that you're presenting to me, I need to understand from every game that I'm going to set up. So it was a little bit disappointing for me. So I guess this game was not meant to stay in my collection, and I'm going to say goodbye to it. And let's move on to the next game that is going to leave my collection, and that is Civilization: A New Dawn. So there you have it right over here, and it actually contains, no, hold on, let me start with the base game. So I'm really a freak, okay, of Sid Meier's Civilization, the PC game. So I think that I've played like Civilization 6 about, I don't know, 3,000 hours on the computer. Like that was before I discovered board games, but really it was an amazing 4X game. It had everything that I looked for, like the right amount of complexity and strategy and like tons of options. I really fell in love with it. So when I saw that there's a board game or like Sid Meier's Civilization, I'm like, oh my God, I really need to have it. This looks amazing. So I think that you already know me, and when I see at least a title or something that I'm like, oh my God, I want that, I'm like, should I see some playthroughs or reviews? I'm like, nah, I don't need those. The game for sure will be great. So I got the game, and I was like disappointed, okay? The game felt so flat next to the PC game, and of course I don't expect like from a board game to be as great as the PC game. I mean that obviously when you have so much data, you know, running, then obviously in a PC game you'll have like more options, okay? Everything will change, the screens, you have more options because it's a computer game, right? There is a limit to the amount of content you can put in a board game. Obviously, I'm not saying that PC games are better than board games, obviously, but this game really fell short for me. So I thought, okay, give it one more chance and let's check out also the expansion for this game. Maybe it will add like much more content. And while it did add more content to the game in form of the different districts and something like this, still I felt that this game should not be in a box like this. It should be like something much more massive. I would be so much happier to pay more money for just like a good version or a good adaptation from the PC game to a board game. It actually came to a point that I'm thinking, wow, I think that actually like Clash of Cultures Monumental Edition is actually a better Civ game than Civilization. So of course in Clash of Cultures you don't have like the advanced in time and everything, and how like cavalry becomes later airplanes or something like this, of course, but still it felt that Clash of Cultures is a better Civ game than Civilization. So I guess that if I have a game that does like what I'm looking for better, I don't need to keep this in my collection. So that's the second game that is going to go from my collection. Let's move on to the third game. You ready for this? I think you might have maybe a negative surprise. But in any case, the next game that is leaving my collection is Revive. Oh my God, Asaf, how can you do this? Revive is leaving your collection? Okay, so here's the thing. I got Revive a while ago and it felt good. You know, it's a cool game. I didn't feel that there's a lot of depth in this game. I'm like, okay, this is a cool game. It looks nice, even though I found that the boards, like the player boards of the factions themselves, were like, I don't know, they just at some point went like this. So the production level of this game, at one side it looks good, but on the other side I'm like, I don't know. So while other like players from my group were like, oh, this is a great game, I felt like it is okay. Sometimes it like at 4 players it even felt like too long for what the game actually proposed for you as an experience. And this game became just like another game on my shelf that when someone is asking me, hey, would you like to play Revive? And I'm like, you know, I think that for the amount of time that we have and like for the level of the players, we should play something else. So I'm thinking if a game is like staying too long on my shelf without me opening it and actually don't have the desire to play this game, like I think this is time to say goodbye to this. So I know that there is a new expansion that like is coming out now, but I think like this is my personal opinion that usually if you don't like the base game, usually, okay, then I don't know if an expansion can like do miracles. Now, I do understand that there are some exception to this, okay? For example, Fallout, that the base game was like, okay, but, and of course I do still have criticisms about Fallout, but the expansions like New California and Atomic Bonds were like, oh, Okay, so this was supposed to be included like in the base game. So I am willing to keep this game because the expansions made it that much better. But even if you look at games like StarCraft, the expansion of course made this game better, but even if you play the base game, you're still having a very good experience. So for me, Revive was not about that, and unless maybe the expansion will be amazing and I will bring this game back to my collection, for now, we're going to part our ways. So now moving on to the next part of the video, and that is which games are new to my collection. And as I already told you, because I'm going to do a video for this game, Septima, the Deluxe Edition, is the first one. Now I would like to share with you guys that this game is actually the first one that I pledged for in Kickstarter. It's not the first one that I received because there were some delays, but this is what opened like Kickstarter for me, you know, Septima. So we already have some sort of an emotional connection, and I like it for what I see so far. This reminds me Tricarion in a sense that like they're presenting you like the base game, okay, just for you to learn the mechanic. But when you add, like when you're going to play the full game, like in Tricarion we had the base game and like the Dark Alley. But here in Septima, like the base game, I'm like, oh, okay, it's nice. And then when you're adding the full game, like the ritual board and everything, you're like, oh, okay, now I get it. So I'm already happy with that, and I can't wait actually to get a bit more comfortable with this game and adding the expansion that came with the deluxe box. And hopefully the experience will be so much more, like so much richer, that I really want to like Septima, because so far, like it's such an eye pleaser. The art here is really incredible. I like the gameplay. I'm not so sure I'm a fan of the lack of interaction, but again, I don't know, it feels like this game is still new to me, so I don't want to review it yet. I'm going to leave it for another video. The next game that came to my collection is John Company, the second edition. So there you go. I don't want to tell you guys. I have no idea what this game is. I just know that it's a Euro game, or I hope I'm not like presenting myself as an idiot over here. I just saw like a few photos of this game. Oh my god, you're probably going to think I'm an idiot, but really, I don't know, guys. I prefer always to like just buy the game and see how it is for me. So I hope that it's going to be a good one. I heard many good things about this solo mode, so this is something that I'm definitely interested in. But I have no idea what this game is about. So I'm just going to have to get back to you about that. The next game that is joining my collection, by the way, today we have 4 new games. And that is something that I looked for quite some time. And it is Imperium, the Contention. So this was like on my, like, you know, what I want to buy list for a long time. If to say it's a Grail game, I'm not so sure. For me, StarCraft was a Grail game, but this is for sure something that I looked for. This is a 4X game that actually come in not a big box, and it's already something that I like. Like March of the Ants, for example, which is a very good real 4X game that came in such a small box, and I'm like, really, 4X game in such a small box? And I'm like, yeah, this is March of the Ants is an amazing game. Feel free to check out the ultimate review that I did a while ago, if it's interesting for you, of course. But this is something that I would like to see. So the only thing that I'm like, is that this is the like the standard edition of the game. There is a deluxe version also that contains like a solo mode. So I will see if at some point I'm continuing following it on BGG and different websites for second-hand like markets, and if I'll be able to actually score the deluxe edition, I think that I'm just going to sell this one. But for now, I managed to get it for 50 euros, which is like, I think that for a game that is out of print, it's pretty sweet. The fourth and final game that is joining my collection is Infinity's Defiance of Fate. So I got this game new in shrink for 40 euros, which I think was a pretty good price for this game. And this is supposed to be a light 4X game, so you already know that when I'm hearing 4X, I'm like, 4X? Where is it? Bring it over. So I'm a little bit like, I'm curious about this, because light and 4X is not usually the kind of like a word combination that we're used to here. I really like heavy 4X games, but this one, like light 4X, I want to try it. Let's see what this is all about. So that's it, guys. This is the games that are leaving my collection and the games that are entering my collection on my way to build the perfect collection of 100 games, no more, no less. Thank you very much, guys, for everything. I really mean it, and I can't wait to see who is going to win the free giveaway. Take care and see you next time.